Everyone. I'm Danielle Byington, and I'm your instructor for this English class that you are taking. No matter which one it is, this is just kind of a general video covering some of the basic things I want you to be able to find and just be aware of that are present in your online course. Because the online layout for my courses is a similar template, no matter what I'm teaching. So even though I'm going to use my European literature course as an example, it's going to be the same across like the whole spectrum. So don't be confused by the fact that while I'm talking about it, it might mention a different kind of author or title than the sorts of things you see listed in your class. It's mainly, I'm just going to be talking about things like the syllabus, where to find assignment due dates and the course schedule and things like that. So I'm going into European literature. In your course home, um, if we go to content, this that kind of really boring part where I'm going to talk about the syllabus because I am obligated to at least kind of touch on that. I will trust that you are reading most of this information, like the description and objectives. That's title is pretty self-explanatory for the course. You're going to be reading European literature. Most people who teach literature classes at the 2000 level tend to do a sort of chronology approach. So let's say like I have 3 units. One begins with the ancient world, and then another is more about the early modern and Renaissance periods, and then finally we get into the modern world. So it'll be a layout of that nature. Um, your text, no matter which course you are in, I have this listed, the information. In this class, I started listing the Amazon link. If you were in a class, like a 3000 level class with me, where you have 7 or 8 books you have to buy, I have the ETSU bookstore link there, and there's also an explanation about 2 books that are listed in error that are not supposed to be there. That's not my fault. I didn't do that. So make sure you're paying attention to what's listed under the text information if you are in that class. Course requirements, you can kind of see what's required of you in the grading section. These are the main things you'll be doing all semester. In this course that I'm looking at, there are 4 pieces of information for grading. In some other classes, there might only be 3 pieces of information where they don't do a paper proposal because they are doing alternate types of work. Your grading scale from this department is there. Plagiarism is the main thing I need to talk about. No matter how much I cover it every semester, there are still people who do it. It's really stupid at this point in 2025 to still be doing it because you're going to be caught. Um, I know that Turnitin doesn't usually catch it anymore, but I've been teaching for 7 or 8 years now, and since at least about by that second year, I've graded hundreds of papers, and I can tell a shift in the writing voice. People who have English degrees, we we call that the voice that you are reading on the page, and they know what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, it doesn't sound like the same person is writing anymore. It'll be something like that, or the quality of the writing will shift significantly, things like that. Or you went in to go change a few words, and it still came up as like little bits and pieces and turn it in. And then when I copy and paste it in something like Google, there's the source that you stole it from without citing it. And I understand people might accidentally forget to cite something sometimes. I'm talking more about like people were just, they waited till the last minute, or they're trying to cut corners and get something done by pasting in chunks of work and claiming it as theirs. There's something down here, some more details, like don't even let your best friend or your roommate, someone you think you know really well, maybe even known them since you were in diapers and you happen to be in the same class together, um, don't loan them your work to look at. This is in my syllabus because it's happened before. Somebody threw their best friend under the bus and stole their paper and turned it in. The other friend didn't know. They submitted theirs, and then it came up as plagiarized. And so we came out. It turned out in the investigation of the situation, with some screenshots of text messages these two students had between each other. The first student who submitted theirs had plagiarized from the second student who submitted theirs. I'm guessing they are not friends anymore. So there are some little details about what you shouldn't do, what you can't do, what percentage you can do, and so on in this section. And this part about using AI for your writing. Pay attention to this part. You notice when you first log into your course, no matter which one of my courses you are in, there is something that says that please, as soon as possible, take the attendance reporting quiz. I'm calling it attendance reporting because every professor you have has to report attendance. If we don't, it will significantly screw up your financial aid, whether that's scholarships or student loans or whatever is covering it. Um, so what I'm doing to say this is my evidence that this student has opened this online course and read at least some of the material, so I can technically say you are attending. You're going to take this little quiz that says, like, what do I say about using AI in your work that you turn in this class? And basically, I'm looking for something like word for word from here. It is not hard. It's not difficult. That acts as our contract of, hey, I told you you cannot, this is how you cannot use AI. So if you get caught later in the semester doing it, you can't be like, I didn't know. So make sure you know what's going on in these two paragraphs so you can take that very quick little quiz up in assessments. Late work. So I'm lenient the first time. After that, like that starts to look like a pattern. It starts to look like laziness or a problem. That being said, I'm not going to be a total monster about things. If you can provide me with some kind of documentation or doctor's notes, I don't know, like pictures of your work schedule, whatever is going on that's creating problems for you, if you just reach out to me, like we can negotiate something, so maybe you can get some partial credit on an important assignment or exam or whatever that you missed. But if you don't let me know anything, if you don't reach out to me, I have a lot of students. I can't just like stand under the waterfall with a little 8-ounce glass trying to catch everything because it's not possible. You need to reach out to me. Otherwise, I don't know that something is wrong. I'll just think that maybe you don't care. I have some mental health resources, and then also a resource for the Center for Academic Achievement. Sometimes we just call that the tutoring center. So I think you can still do almost everything to sign up with them online. If you want someone to help like go over a draft of an essay with you, and I'm talking about not just my class. They cover all kinds of writing. For other courses, it might be more in the sciences or math. They provide services for that, and it's free, so there's no reason to not use it. I have a thing I've added this semester about transparency. As things just continue to keep changing in academia, specifically in the humanities, about a third of faculty at ETSU and many other universities, for that matter, are what's called adjuncts. And a lot of instructors just don't explain this to their students when it's in their title and their emails. I have seen some adjuncts who don't even put it in their title and their email, and like that's their business. But it is a very complicated hierarchy to explain, but in a nutshell, I'm saying this, putting in this transparency part here to explain, like, hey, we get paid poverty wages to teach the exact same number of courses as full-time professors, because there essentially are just rarely ever, I mean, like, what's in a few years, a full-time position to apply to? So the economic disparity is egregious. And so many of us have like a separate job, like that is our real job on the side. That's my case. Or some people have 2 or 3 jobs, because you can't live on like 15 or $17,000 a year doing work that is almost takes up a full-time schedule. I'm telling you this not just to complain about this totally screwed up system, because people have been complaining about it since the beginning of time, but to explain to you like why things are not graded immediately. In my case, I try to keep it in about a week to 2 week window, some points right in the middle. If you turned in something late, or closer to the deadline of when something was due, that might take a couple extra days, yes, because I have a lot of students. However, you will always get the most from me as possible. I will always give you my best as an educator because I do work in general in education. So, that's my goal, is to help you get through this course, get something meaningful out of the material you're learning from in this class and all that. Okay, so there's that. The other important thing we are looking at that you need to be aware of, where you'll always find the main information you need, is the course schedule. All right. Um, Things are color coded through here. In blue, your visual response discussion topics, those are always in blue because those are low stakes assignments. And if you go to evaluation and go to discussions, then you can find the instructions for how to do those there. And there's a video there explaining in detail how to do those. Then in red, you'll always have your exams, and orange-ish, yellow-ish, something in between that, golden yellow for your paper proposals. And if you want to have a little more sense of urgency when those are due, we'll give you more details about what exactly is in your exams. And there's a video for how to do your paper proposals too. If you go to content and down through the options on the left, you'll see information for paper proposals. Let's see, what else are we covering here? Here in week 1, for example, if you don't have the book yet, so I have the page numbers there, but you'll also see, so say down here on week 3, I like to teach a play that kind of matches this pattern I'm doing throughout the whole course, and this particular course in European literature. It helps me demonstrate how like all the stuff about the Trojan War, the fall of the city of Troy, your main players like Achilles and the goddess Athena, all those people um, carry on through this kind of tradition in literature from the ancient world through the modern world. So I can do that better by using this play, and I also give you a much more current translation of this play in D2L. So it's clearer, it's more concise, and it's shorter. You can find that in D2L. And since I know some of you might not have your books yet for this first week, this is also in D2L. If you go to content, I have online readings. There are a lot of them. I give you that for the Iliad as well. The books we're reading from the Iliad in in week 2. So you're set for those first 2 or 3 weeks if you don't have the text yet. After that, you're on your own. I know if you've had me before, you're probably like, wait, usually give us links and everything. I can't do that in this class because it's European literature. 9 out of 10 things that are being assigned are originally in a language that is not in English, which means I have to provide you with material that is translated in English, which means even if it was centuries ago that it was written, there's a copyright on it from that translator. Some of those things you can find in public domain, but not all of them. So it's just easier to assign the book rather than give you a bunch of dead links, because that gets annoying over the semester. Let's see. I think that's all I want to cover for you in this little like here's the general stuff kind of video. You are always welcome to email me if you need to. That email is in the syllabus. You can also, how to do that, I'm sure, in D2L by going to course tools and class list, and just make sure you're selecting like to either show all or click on the tab for instructors. And you can reach me that way, or just type that in, or just type my name into the ETSU Outlook email and it comes up. So let me know if you need me. And that's it. Thank you for watching.